What is up, everybody? I am with Brian Ortega right now. Brian on February 24th in Mexico City will have a rematch with Yair Rodriguez. We haven't seen Brian for quite a while. He hasn't fought since July of 2022 when he injured the shoulder. He is back now. Looking forward to seeing that fight. Brian, how are you, my friend? Thank you for joining me.
I'm doing amazing, man. Thank you for having me on. Appreciate you.
You injured the shoulder and in the fight against Yair on Long Island in July of 2022. Has it been strictly the shoulder that has kept you out all this time?
No.
So you've had other issues going on?
Yeah, we had a couple of surgeries, man, if I'm being honest.
Okay.
Later on, I think I'll open up more about like all of them, but yeah, it was a bit of a journey. It's a bit of a journey.
You basically have sacrificed your body then for this sport, right? Because you've been through a lot in this sport. Like when you look back on this, can you believe sort of the abuse you've given to your body in these last few years?
Yeah, I had actually this year to reflect on it, where I would be lying if the questions didn't come up. Is it still worth it?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because for the first time in my life, I understood when people say I have kids, I can't do this anymore. And I used to think like, come on, man. Like, of course we can. We're strong mentally in this. And it's not even that. I think what the smart thing about people is some of them look at it in the long run,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Right.
If I'm moving already like I'm 60 years old,
Yeah.
how am I really gonna move if I'm 60?
Right.
Right? And how are my kids gonna how is it gonna be on them, how is it gonna be on my family? um and like I said, I would be lying if that thought didn't come up after kind of doing a tally on how many surgeries I've had total. So uh but then I just remembered that we don't have a choice. But
Did you how did you make the decision to keep going? Like, was there ever a point where you're close to saying, you know what, I've had a good run, I fought for the title, I've been on national television, blah 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 blah. Let's move on and do something else. Did you ever come to that point and retire from fighting?
the thoughts of retirement uh only arose, like I said, after I listened to my feelings.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Not my logic. When I listen to my feelings, and obviously I got in this depression, right? Or sadness took over
Mm,
because all I want to do is fight.
yeah.
And then when you don't fight, and you're going through these battles that people have no idea that you're fighting,
Right.
and then you're trying to like be positive and tell everyone like, guys, I'm coming back, and then they just make fun of you or push you down. You start to think like, man, I am grateful because of you guys. I have a job and you guys provide me with one, but I'm also discouraged by how negative you guys can be to these fighters such as myself when we're trying to come back for you guys.
Mm-hmm.
We live to entertain you guys.
Right.
That's what we do. We obviously we make our money and stuff like that, and we take care of our family, but that's the perk of the job. But we entertain you guys, and we go to wars, and like you said earlier, like I sacrificed my body for this.
Right.
And you have to just come to terms, which is for the first time surprisingly in my life, I came to terms. It's like I love the fans, I appreciate them, but I do this because I am a protector and a provider for my family.
Right.
And this is the way I know how, so and do so. Is there other ways? Of course. But this is the way that I've always done, and I've always been in fighting my entire life since I was 5 years old.
So
So
you made the decision to keep fighting. Are you confident? You were such an athletic, quick, you know, energetic guy as a fighter when you were on your way up, right? When you were young and not so beaten up. Can you be that guy again? Can you recreate old T City and come back when you were pulling people out of the seats with your athletic ability right now?
Yes, you have to have, well, one, right? Like you look at time, like Mother Time gets us all. That just is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
But my time is not done. It physically and mentally and everything speaking, I have every I'm better than I was when I was younger, as in terms of my strength, like my PRs, everything that I used to do, because I
Sure.
have a record of all my stuff. So I always compare myself. A big thing that I do is the new Brian has to beat the old Brian, right? And he always has. But then I say, man,
what metrics are you talking about that you're comparing yourself to?
we're talking about the way I sprint my 400s, my time that it takes, my PRs when I'm lifting, the type of caliber guys that I'm going with. How long does it take me to either finish them, knock them out, submit them, or when I'm sparring, the level of competition when it comes to black belts that I'm rolling with. Before, these guys were easy to submit, or some guys are hard, and then you take these people and you use it as a metric system to determine how well you're doing. And then you take other fighters that you use to measure yourself and your techniques with.
Mm-hmm.
So that's always gotten better. But then I ask myself the question, which is, well, how come we don't see it? And that's just because I'm in the top 5.
Right.
When you're fighting these guys, it's easy. It was easier when I was fighting guys in rank number 30, number 38, 40, 50, guys of that nature. But when you're dealing with the cream of the crop here,
right,
this is what it is.
I don't think people understand that, right? They don't get that.
They don't get that. They're like, well, how are you better if you lose, or this is like, you don't understand the game, right? You play against
like if you're playing the Angels or the Dodgers and you got Ohtani pitching all the time, your batting average isn't going to be as good as if you're
like, bro,
somebody else.
Like, these guys are the best of the best. Yeah. And you could either be discouraged by it or you can be encouraged by it. And I choose to be encouraged by it. I don't like that feeling of like I said, this depression feeling where you kind of boo-hoo yourself, or you play victim, or you start to kind of like, oh man, not whatever. The only one question that went through my head was, will my kids love their father the way they should when he's 40? And will their father at 40, because by the time my kids are both 18 and 19, I'll be 40 years old.
Mm-hmm.
That's young. That's a young parent.
Yeah, of course.
And the fact that the idea comes up that, will I be able to train with them? Will I be able to hike with them? Will they say, Dad, we're going to do something crazy. Do you want to come with us? And I say, son, I wish I could, but I can't.
Yeah, hurting.
Right? That's a big thought that
oh yeah.
I didn't realize till I actually got fully involved as being a father. And I understood the value of it and the love that comes with. And now I'm like, man, other than that thought, like, I've always been in.
Brian, has it been like, have you been able to, so your kids are what, 8, 9 years old now, or 10 years old?
No, they're 10 and 11.
10 and 11. So have you been able to play around with them like now as you're a fighter, like, or is your body hurting? Like, hey, I'm just cut home from practice and my shoulder hurts or my knee hurts, and don't roll on me, and don't, do that. Are you able to enjoy the small things that most fathers do with their children, playing with them and having fun with them, like you just described when you're retired? But can you do that now, given where your body is and the demands of your job?
Absolutely. Especially when I'm in camp, and I'm strong. I'm athletic. I got cardio. We are 3 big kids. Like, yeah, we're 3 big kids, man. We wrestle, we fight, we play fight. We have they have these things called plushies, right? Where like these stuffed animals. Every Super Mario plushie you can think of, they've collected. Actually, I'll show you. Like, they've collected all of these things, and we have battles here at the house where we just no, and I'm not kidding, man. Like, we throw these around. Like, this is look.
you
got Diddy Kong, you got the Skeleton Bowser, you got this guy Koopa, you got Bowser Jr., you got the freaking thing that smashes you. Like, you got Red Yoshi, you got Luigi.
That is awesome.
Like, I mean, they have everything that you can think of.
Different from how
And
you grew
we'll
up.
sit there on that big beanbag, and then all the plushies, and we'll throw it at each other, and I'll slam them on the plushie. Like we'll just go nonstop, and that'll be fun, you know. But yeah, we have our battles, but when I am in camp, they do understand that dad's got to rest, dad's got to hang out, dad's got to chill. Um, Especially like the closer I get
Sure.
to camp, I don't even think it's so much the energy for me. It's more just the calories and the food that I'm eating. Man, you lower my calories, I'm gonna be in a bad mood. Right? Like dad don't want, it's not that dad can't play, just
Well, you're
dad
not
don't want
alone
to
in that
play.
one. You lower my calories, I'm in a bad mood, but for
It's
different
like dad don't want to play right now, guys, because dad's already pissed off that he's gotta eat a damn apple and some protein shake right now. Like
reasons.
that's just it. But uh yeah, we have fun, man. I'm able to do anything with them. I can
Good.
play soccer with them. Like the fact that I can challenge them still and push them to certain limits feels good to know that we like I can give them a head start. Or even when I do my track workouts and I'm running the 400, I place them in front of me, and the game is if I touch you, you lose.
Haha.
Yeah, so it's like I'll start at the beginning of the 400, and one will like the eldest, because he's pretty fast. He'll start at like he'll do 200, and then the young one will be at the 150. But the end of it, right? So I
You have to
they
chase
say
them.
they say your mark, get set, go, we go. And my goal is like, I touched the first one, I touched the second one, you know, and I never win, but that's how.
Oh, really? Okay, that's interesting. I
Oh
thought you were
no,
hitting
but
them. You
I
caught them
come
every
pretty
time.
close. The last 100, the oldest one catches up to the youngest one, and then they're both together, and I'm like right there, and I'm just like, wait till the second one, wait till the second one, but it just doesn't happen. But
I gotta see
these kids are
video of that.
athletic as well. They're all stars in AYSO and play soccer. Uh, like they're about to go to club. They're not regular kids. My youngest did 150 push-ups straight. Um, yeah, these guys they're not regular kids.
They got those dad's genes in
Not really. They got my wife's genes.
them. I was gonna say you're pretty athletic yourself. Well, a couple things about your body and then the fight. How did you injure the shoulder against Yair? Since we talked about the shoulder, how did the injury happen, and did you know right away it was bad?
So, from what I recall, I took him down. We were in a situation where my arm was stuck underneath my arm was underneath his body, and then his leg shot up to try to position himself to shoot a submission.
Mm-hmm.
My hand being stuck underneath and everything, my coach yelled that he's gonna go for an arm lock.
Okay.
So instinctively, I pulled out to make sure that he didn't even have an arm to catch, but my arm was stuck in a way that it was kind of like it was inverted out.
Okay, so
And then when it was inverted out and I pulled, the way that the positioning of his body was, I yanked it when I shouldn't have yanked it. And I yanked it past that point. I thought that maybe I can slip it out, but there was basically like a brick wall. So I yanked the entire arm off. And yeah, we're given that type of pressure, right? In the fight in front of everyone. It was like, I'm gonna yank this thing out with all I got. And well, it tore from 12 to 6 on my labrum.
ooh,
Yeah.
so now you are back. You're going to rematch with him. I'm assuming you remember what it was like in there with him before. Do you fight the same game plan, do you think, Brian, or do you have to make adjustments given, you know, you both know each other a little bit?
We make minor adjustments. Like always, right? The game plan was exposed, and now we have to play chess a little bit slicker now. You know, that's what it is. It would be foolish to go in there with the same intent, same game plan, same everything, thinking that this man has not prepared already for that, Brian.
Incredible. Um, Wrap up with this, the Mexico City crowd, I think, that's got to be for the two of you fighting. This is going to be kind of an insane insane crowd. One of the few times I would guess, maybe I'm wrong on this, but I would guess you might be the underdog, not the favorite there. I don't know, but how do you anticipate that crowd being? And as a fighter, when you have a nutty crowd like we expect that crowd to be, do you get a little more fired up than normal?
The crowd is very passionate in there. Yes, I've been there live, and it's uh it's an energy that I've yet to see elsewhere other than like the soccer games, right? That type of aura.
Right.
Um, the question has arose that will I be even favored? I usually am. Even in other situations that I was surprised, like such as like against Volk in T-Mobile Arena in Vegas. I thought that he's the champ and whatever. Everyone was rooting for me the whole time. If I was being honest, I was a little bit shocked at the love that I had. And I think that this one might be different. Obviously, we have this spoken but not spoken law of like I'm not Mexican.
Uh-huh.
So who knows how they react to that.
That was the thing. Oscar De La Hoya fought for a large part of his career, but then he got over the hump on that. So my guess is you could probably pull the same thing, right?
It's weird, man. Ever see the movie Selena?
No.
No. There's a part in that movie where the man explains really well. He goes, we're not American enough for the Americans, but we're not Mexican enough for the Mexicans.
Yeah.
Right? So in order to prove our worth anywhere, we have to work twice as hard as the Americans and twice as hard as the Mexicans just to even get valued or recognition.
Interesting.
And even since I was a young boy, that stuck with me because being first generation from, like my parents, both of them are from Mexico. They came into the States to give us a better life. And I'd be lying if how even me with light skin and blue eyes, I haven't been frowned upon. Uh,
Oh, of course. Yeah.
and then when I go to Mexico, it's even worse over there for me because they're like, no, you're just a white guy. And I'm like, then how do I know Spanish? Like, yeah, but you live in the States. You're not one of us. So that's always been like a battle, right?
Yes.
Um, but who knows, right? As a focused individual, my job is to go in there regardless of the cheers and boos, do my job. Um, and at the end of the day, if I speak properly at the end of it and let them know what I'm about and who I am in very few words that I have on that microphone, uh, I'll be able to leave the arena with them having respect towards me.
I think it's going to be such a great fight that they're going to respect both of you guys. That is my prediction for that one. Brian,
You know what? I love your prediction.
I'm looking forward to it, brother. Appreciate your time. Great stuff, man, and all the best to you in recovering and obviously in the fight. Thank you so much.
Thank you, man. Have a great day, brother.
You too. See you soon.